Hi, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of my Christian Music Week reviews. Each week I take 5 releases, albums, EPs, or singles, and after I've listened to them all week, I come back here and I review them. I share what I think about them. So without further ado, let's get to this week's first release, Petey Martin's new single featuring Lauren Daigle, Come Back Home. Petey Martin and Lauren Daigle's new single, Come Back Home. Let's talk about it. So, stylistically here, we have bass, drum, keyboard, synth, and we have some acoustic guitar snuck in as well. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. Kind of a prodigal type track. Lauren talks about how in the track, how she ran away from God and ended up with nothing. She traded all to come back home and lay her burdens down. Really good track here, and pretty good to know that we can always come back home to God. Up next, Rhett Walker's new single, a cover of Buffalo Music's Goodness of God. Rhett Walker's new single, a cover of Buffalo Music's Goodness of God. Let's talk about it. So, instrumentally here we have acoustic guitar, drum, and then the electric guitar kind of has a twang to it. And as for the lyrics here, talks about how God has been faithfully good all Rhett's life. And Rhett says that in return, he'll sing of God's goodness with every breath. Up next, Slumber-See Slumber's new single, a cover of Elevation Worship's See a Victory. Slumber-See Slumber's new single, See a Victory. Let's talk about it. So before I dive in too deeply, let me just say this is a bonus track on the deluxe edition of their worship album, Unseen. Look, I even have the shirt on for it. So the deluxe edition puts the two EPs, The Lion and the Lamb, which were previously released separately, onto one album. And plus, they give us two bonus tracks, one that being a cover of Elevation Worship, See a Victory. The other one being a cover of Matt Maher's, Lord I Need You. And in case you're wondering, I reviewed both of the original EPs on this channel, so you can go check out my thoughts on that. That's why I'm just reviewing the single and not waiting for the whole deluxe edition to come out. However, if you want to see me review the deluxe edition as one album, you can let me know that in the comments below in the request if you want. But let's dive into this track, See a Victory. So, we have here keyboard, bass guitar, electric guitar, bass, and drum. Let me just say, I would have liked some parts to be a little heavier with it being Slumber-See Slumber, I think. That's just my take. It's kind of interesting. I wasn't as into some parts initially. I wanted a little more edge. It's interesting because I really like Slumber-See Slumber, and I am a fan of the original version of this song as well. But that's just my take, and ultimately, it grew on me as the week went on, I think. So, overall, I think the initial, oh, let's do stuff, I think I'm starting to get a little more past that after a few listens. And as for the lyrics here, talks about how God triumphs over whatever comes against. We're going to see a victory because the battle belongs to him. Up next, Chris Renzema's Let the Ground Rest B-Sides EP. Chris Renzema's Let the Ground Rest B-Sides EP. Let's talk about it. So, this includes two new songs, two songs that didn't make it on Let the Ground Rest, and then three live versions of songs that did. So, let's dive into it. So, we hear acoustic guitar, piano, violin, and drum. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here, touch on a few different themes here. Excuse me, including asking God to tear our poorly foundationed house down and rebuild on his foundation. And also talks about God's mercy welcoming us even when we don't deserve it. And also talks about waiting on God to bring, for that springtime where he brings new life like a springtime garden. Up next, our last release for today, Crosspoint Music's new EP, Never Stop Singing. Crosspoint Music's new EP, Never Stop Singing, we'll talk about it. Pretty good EP here. Acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass guitar, drum, piano. And as for the lyrics here, talks about stepping on faith even when we cannot see, and also talks about how God is good even in the waiting. Well, that's it for this week. Come back next week for 5 more releases. If you like what you saw in this video, please subscribe. Also, if you have any thoughts on what I said about today's releases, or any releases from today that you want me to review in next week's video, let me know in the comments below. Well, I'll go now. See ya next week. Bye!